Hey y'all, what's up? This is Chris from Blackstone Cherry, and you're watching the Helix Hour with Eric Broadbent.
Hey, this is Vernon Reed from Living Color, and you're watching the Helix Hour.
Hey guys, my name is Gemma Jura. I'm the guitar player for Evanescence, and you're watching the Helix Hour.
Welcome to the Helix Hour, brought to you in part by Stewart Travel Guitars. See the incredible stowaway travel guitar at stewartguitars.com. Microphones for the Helix Hour are provided by RØDE Microphones. Now, let's talk some Helix. Hey everyone, happy Sunday afternoon to you and to our Canadian viewers here and Canadian friends and family. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope everyone is doing very, very well. And I myself am just finally starting to do well. I was sick with a cold and flu. Junior got it first, and he's just on the outskirts of it now, and I was down for the count for the worst part of it, 2 days in bed. I've got more sleep than I've ever had in my life, and now I'm all full of energy and thought we would go live. We didn't have a guest book today on the Helix Hour, but I just felt like, you know what? I got so much energy. I'm in a positive mood. I'm in a giving mood. Very, very happy. Thought we'd spend some time with you. Only going to do 60 minutes today, so some of our Canadian viewers that are having their celebrations today with their families, we certainly don't want to take you away from them. But you know how these things go. Sometimes, the women and the men are in the kitchen, they're doing their kind of stuff, or whatever. Who's ever in charge of the kitchen, while the other people get to sneak out in the living room or the computer room of the office. Well, hopefully you guys can be those people to sneak away for 60 minutes, and we're going to have some fun. I'm going to do two things today, a couple things on the agenda, maybe even three things on the agenda. Number one, want to thank you all for joining us, and also thank you for helping us reach 13,000 subscribers. I keep thinking 1,300 for some reason. It doesn't seem like 13,000, but thank you from the bottom of my heart, from all of us here, from Butterfly and Ladybug, Bane Rocks, also known as Eric Jr., and myself. We are a YouTube family, and we can't thank you enough. 13,000 subscribers. Very, very nice. Warm, fuzzy feeling all over again. So thank you. I also want to thank Colin Cartmill, who's here from InfiniteRigs.com. We'll be sharing his links throughout the afternoon. We had a bit of a demo a couple weeks back, and we're taking comments from that, random comments. We're going to be picking 4 winners to give some impulse response packs away. And I did a demo on the brown package, which is kind of based around the famous Eddie Van Halen sound of vintage years and, of course, more modern. And then I did a hard rock package, which I'm loving to death as well, too. And Colin was so cool. Not only he says, would you like to give some packs away for giveaway? I said, sure. 2 sound good. He goes, we can do more. I'm like, I never like to wear out my welcome. I would have been thrilled with 2. He says, would you like to do more? I said, okay, how about 4? So 4 it is. And so I talked to him on Facebook today. I said, so I just tell the winners they can pick between the brown and the hard rock package. He goes, no, anything on the site. So whoever wins today, there's going to be 4 winners. You get to choose from any package, impulse response package on the site. And it's really funny because I mentioned before that I was not an impulse response user for the most part. I went down that rabbit hole a long time ago, and I dug myself back out of it because you can get lost if you're not careful with some manufacturers' impulse responses. And a lot of times, especially when you find these free ones on the internet, nothing wrong with them. There could be some great free ones, and there could be some really crappy paid ones everywhere in between. But usually you get a list like this, and you go down, you're trying all these impulse responses, and by the time you find one that you like, or maybe 1 or 2 or 3 that you like, or you might even remember, you get down to your ears are so fatigued that you just don't remember what you liked. So with Infinite Rigs, the choices are shorter. There's usually 9, 10, 12 presets per package. Don't quote me on that exact number, but it's a smaller number, and the bulk of them are awesome. They're really, really awesome. So it's harder to pick one that isn't your favorite. They're all so good. I found probably about 80% of the ones that I tried were fantastic, and I tended to gravitate towards the darker impulse responses. So that's what we're going to be doing at the end of the program here. At the tail end of 60 minutes, we will be drawing random. I got a website thing, one of those random pickers. We're going to choose from the comments. I'm going to jump over to the live chat here in a second, say hi to everybody. And also our other agenda today is to show, using Helix, the powers of the advanced routing capabilities of what you can do with this. And I'm going to be showing you how to do very, very quickly. I've been finding a lot of my demos that I've been doing online where I'm just going very, very basic and very quick through some of the things have been some of my more popular videos. So I'm going to show you how to take advantage of advanced routing capabilities of Helix and do wet, dry, wet. Now, today you can probably barely see, you can probably see where my hands are here, a little bit of glowing buttons. I'm going to be using Helix floor today. You can see my rack back there, which is right there, okay, right above the Les Paul. That is my default Helix processor, but I did a backup the other day of that one and put everything over here on Helix floor. And the only reason why I'm using floor today, there's no difference in tone, there's no difference in routing, there's no difference, period, other than the fact that I've got that one hooked up to my power cabs back there. And that's what spawned this whole wet, dry, wet thing. I'm going to tell you how I'm doing it back there. I'm running Helix out left and right XLR cables to the big 212 power cab dead center. I'm also running the Line 6 link, which is like your digital out, to the two 112s. So what's really cool about that is I just run one link cable out of Helix to the first cab over there, which is left, cab left, and then I daisy chain another Line 6 link cable over to the next 112, which is there, and it automatically knows left and right. And then the cool thing is with this preset, I'm going to show you how you can route these options to give you a wet, dry, wet configuration. And not only that, we're going to take it a step further and assign it to an expression pedal so we can blend in how much of the wet that we want. And then towards the tail end of the program, before we start picking these presets, the winners, I mean, for the impulse response packages, I'm going to show you what it sounds like in conjunction with a song. And the nice thing is by having the ability to bring it in by expression pedal, it's not like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not too much icing on the cake, so to speak, or not too much effects in your face that it takes away from the material. And it's great, just enough that when you finish an accent, you hit a chord and you stop, you'll hear the tails off to the left and right, and you're still going to hear your beef dead center. So let's have some fun with this. Let's go say hi to a whole bunch of awesome people. We've got over 30 people watching right now. Pooh Ninja is here. Scott Roos is here. Happy Thanksgiving weekend from an overcast and damp Nova Scotia. Here in southwestern Ontario, Canada today, we're doing pretty good. It's actually quite nice here. Windy. I was actually out and even cutting grass today. Probably our last grass cut of the season, I hope. Colin is here, as I mentioned, from Infinite Rigs. R2R3, our good friend and fellow moderator here, is here. Thank you very, very much. And Colin gives a very, very good tip here. He says, just thought I'd mention that you can use IRs with free software loaders if you're recording software, etc. So there you go. So, Google free IR software loaders. A lot of DAWs can bring them in and stuff like that as well, too. Let me continue on here. I think I saw Joe Hervey here somewhere. Yes, I did. Butterfly and Ladybug Show. My beautiful better half, Sandra Lee. She's going to be helping with links today and running the side chat as efficiently as always with her great people that work alongside her as well, her partners. And they'll be on later on tonight, I believe at 6 o'clock. She can comment in the chat. They're going to be doing a live test tonight with the beautiful Ladybug. And I believe they're going to be live again tomorrow at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time-ish. They like to always be fashionably late. I mean, they're beautiful ladies. They get to take their time. But check that out as well tonight as well. She'll comment, let her know us exactly what time she'll be live tonight. Let me see here. Ricky Mees is here. Excuse me. And I may be coughing a lot, and I do apologize. First day vertical in a couple days, and I actually should be kind of taking it easy, but you know what? I'm celebrating a lot of fun things with you, and I'll get better thanks to you guys. Eric Tornad is here, says, I bought a bunch of impulse responses and Eric's presets. Thank you so very much. I can't wait to see how he uses them today. All right, so, and I am going to be using, like I mentioned, the Hard Rock pack today, just because I'm I'm being converted. I'm being converted back to an impulse response guy. But the stock cabs are still good too. Don't think that you can't grab a Helix and bring it home and not sound good without just with the stock cabs. You can. But we're gonna take it a step further, as you heard on one of the last shows. And Eric Tornad bought the Tornad. I'm probably pronouncing your name wrong. Eric T. He bought the Hard Rock and Brown pack. Awesome, very, very nice. Brad Miller is here. Excuse me. Jason Wade is here. Thank you very much for the happy Thanksgiving wishes. Matt Krill is here as well too. Thank you, Matt, for jumping in. Ladybug, there she is. She's here. All right. Carlo Santin is here. Happy Thanksgiving, buddy. He says, happy Thanksgiving. I'll stay for a bit. Family coming over and the dinner is smelling good. Of course. You can always watch back later. No problem at all. Chris O'Brien. Hey, greetings from Telford, England. Really looking forward to this. Thank you for joining from Telford. I very appreciate that. Getting down towards the bottom. Ed Hitchy is here. Would love to try IRs on my Helix. I haven't plugged in any yet. These will probably help you. Like I said at the top of the program, you don't have to go down this rabbit hole and then just go through ear fatigue. That's the biggest downfall of IRs, and I think that's where a lot of people get lost and tend to say, skip it, it's too hard. With these things, we don't want to work hard. We want to play, have lots of fun, and just play guitar. And that's hopefully one of the takeaways from this show today and the demo I did on the impulse responses about a week or so back, a couple weeks back. I want to make it easy for you. I want to say, here, grab this, grab this, grab this, and get off and start playing, right? So that's what my goal is, and I hope that helps you, Ed, and I hope that helps others as well, too. Let me see here. Excuse me. Oh, boy. I got to get through 60 minutes. I need a quick little sip. I didn't realize how bad the vocal cords were. Okay. All right. We're good. We're good. Rob F is here. I tend to gravitate toward the dark side. Dark impulses, too. Okay. Let me see here. I get the funniest comments being funneled to me from Nocturnal Butterfly. And this is just a production note. Nothing bad at all. It's just a production note to put a smile on my face. And yeah, the dark sounds are what I tend to like a lot as well too. Hayden Brown is here saying, "Hi, this is my first live stream. Well, welcome to the program. Thank you very, very much." And Hayden, if you enjoy this content today, please thumbs up if you would be so kind. And if you hit that subscribe button right now, I do give you my oath that I will work just as hard to keep you as a subscriber as we did to get you here today. Join the family. We'll have lots of fun together. And thank you again. Ed Hinchy says, "Just got a Power Cab 212 the other day, and I'm curious whether I should use cab IRs on my Helix or PC." Very good question. If you're using Helix, I would say, there's no real need to put the IRs on Power Cab because you pretty much got the world at your fingertips in Helix. Now, if you're using Stomp, for sure, I would put the impulse responses on the Power Cab, no problem. And another thing you could do too, just because you put them on Power Cab doesn't mean you have to use them. So let's say you bring your Power Cab to a buddy's house one day, and maybe you forgot your Helix. He's got a Helix. Well, then there you go. Now you can use the Helix, you have your buddies, with the impulse responses on your Power Cab. That kind of idea too. So there's a couple scenarios to look at. But if it was just you're just going to be at home all the time, and you're using Helix, I just throw the impulse responses on your Helix. And what I do, to be honest with you, I go FRFR mode on all my speakers back there. I leave it just like that, and I use the impulse responses here. So it'd be worth trying for sure. And maybe in the near future too, I'll do a little bit of an A/B comparison, see what I like better. I think I'm probably going to like it better using the impulse responses on my device here before it gets back there. David Ennis is here. Awesome. Alec Bourne is here. Daryl McMillan is here. Speed Riff says, "Thanks for the content. I'm new to Helix and slowly learning." Well, that's our goal here. We want to make it a fast learn for you, so there's less fidgeting and more playing of your guitar. Because once you get into that, you forget about all the technical stuff, and that's where the content tends to start jumping out at you. And great creations, and that's what our main goal is here. Mark FX is here. Greetings, everyone. Thank you, Mark. One of the newer names here to the channel, so I appreciate you for jumping in. Alonzo Obese is here saying hello. Hayden Brown, I mentioned it already as well too. I think I've got everybody. Okay, so what we're going to do here, I'm just getting a note funneled into me. I just want to make sure it's nothing that I need to address first. Okay, and Ricky is asking a good question while I'm waiting for this production note to come in. Says, "What kind of meal do you have for your Thanksgiving?" We have turkey in the USA. Yeah, usually turkey here as well too. Turkey, nice, a lot of times wrapped in bacon, bacon on it. We tend to sometimes have ham, real nice as well too. So there we go. And I'm just going to say okay on that one. Okay, that's good. Just a production note sent to me, and I tell you, let me see. Okay, and I'll say answered. There's a bit of a delay, so Nocturnal Butterfly is funneling some questions to me, which I've already answered, so that's okay. But I appreciate the fact that she does this, so in case we don't miss anything, a lot of times I miss things. So, and also too, if there's any production or really big, okay, I guess he asked again. Asking about whether to use IRs in my Helix or on my PC 212. I would use them on the Helix. So hopefully that answers the question. Guitar Hack is here. David Ennis. And I think we're down to the, I'll say all good. Okay, and I'm starting to sweat like crazy, which is a good thing because I can sweat the last of this stuff out. We're going to jump over to HX Edit. Okay. Now, don't be alarmed when you see this. This is a pretty simple Helix preset. All right. So here we are. You're going to see up at the top here. I guess you can't really see my mouse. Not my mouth. You don't want to see my mouth. My mouse. So the upper path goes out here, and this is the reason why I'm using Helix Floor today. And I'm just going to see if I can adjust this camera just a little tiny bit as well too. Give me 1 sec because I moved my camera before we went live. All right, and let's just see if we can fix this. That's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to do either. There we go. We'll lock that in. All right, we're locked in now. Okay, so the upper path, those are the effects that I would use. Picture effects that would normally go to the front of your amplifier anyways. Let's just take some random effects and not forget what you see on the screen. A wah pedal, a phaser, a flanger, a chorus pedal, a distortion pedal. Those things would normally go to the front of the amplifier. There's no rules, right? But normally that's where you'd put those. And your time-based effects like your reverbs, delays, things of that nature. In this case, I've even run my patented, that's a joke, it's not patented, but my tone that I do all the time, the kind of the pitch detune, I run that through the loop as well too. Now we're not talking effects loops here at this time. We're talking signal routing. Now on the Helix, on the floor and the rack, the LT has a little bit less, but on Helix floor and rack, you've got 4 send-in returns. You've got 1/4-inch stereo out. You've also got XLR out, and you also have digital out. So you've got so many options. Today, or actually, as I mentioned a few moments ago, on the system behind me, I'm running XLR out to the 212 power cab in the middle, and I'm running digital out, which is a Line 6 link to the two 112s. Today, as you can see, it looks like a little nut or a jack at the far top right. That's a 1/4-inch out. So that path containing a distortion pedal, an amplifier, and it looks like distortion, but what that is, that's the kinky boost. That's the equivalent to Zodic's EP booster, and that would technically be in the loop the way I've got it positioned. I always ran that pedal in the loop. A lot of people will run that to the front of the amplifier. Nothing wrong with that. I liked it in the loop, and I continue to do that. Then I've got the impulse response, which is a hard rock pack from Infinite Rigs, and then I've got a compressor, and that goes out to the 1/4-inch. And I'm going to show you what that sounds like running to my mixer, panned dead center. So there's no effects on that as far as when I say no ear candy, nothing that would be post-processing, reverbs, delays, anything of that nature. Then the second, so that bleeds down to the next path, and I'll show you how I've created that by using the simple EQ block. You have to put something on the lower path to do a split, and it's a lot of different effects that you can use become very DSP heavy. Right? So we don't want to wear down our Helix DSP capabilities, which is a lot. There's a lot of power there, but you want to use something simple, and we're going to tell it where to go with that. I'm going to show you how we're going to recreate this path together. And then I tell it to spill over into path 2A. Okay? All right, so down on path 2A, I'm just going to click the blocks so you'll see them highlight. I've got another impulse response. So my speakers left and right will have basically a speaker. It's like sticking a cab on the left and right. I've got my pitch detune, which does the -9 or -11-ish cents out of tune on the left and positive 11-ish cents on the right. Whatever the number is, I forget exactly. It probably says, 11 and 11. And that just gives that pitch detune effect to further give you that wetness of wet, dry, wet. Then I've got my delays, a nice long delay around 472 milliseconds. I've got a nice plate reverb, fairly wet, not crazy. I've got a high and low cut, which is just trimming out just a tiny bit of the woof of the low frequencies. And then I've got, in true Jason Sudeikis form, a compressor at the end, which is, a lot of people laugh at that, but I tell you, the man is a genius. When you listen to your favorite CD in your car stereo at home, wherever the case is, you're listening to something that's been mastered probably by one of the world's greatest engineers, or at least someone who's very, very, very good. And by doing this type of a signal routing system, you're actually achieving that. You're getting basically a mastered sound by the time it hits your reference monitors, your headphones, your front of house at a live club, or whatever the case may be, studio console. So you're actually almost a mastered suite by the time it gets to the end. So that's what we've done. So I'm going to show you what this sounds like, and then I'm going to kind of quickly walk you through creating it. It's not as daunting as it looks. What I've also done too is I've assigned the EQ, which is basically the little path that breaks off and lets me do this advanced routing. I've assigned it to the expression pedal. Let's go back to the big screen for a second. You can't really see my full Helix, but the Helix floor, I've assigned it to my expression pedal. So, and one thing I made a mistake on earlier, if you don't specify where you want the minimum and maximum gain to be, it can go from 0 to like plus 20 or something like that. You don't want that. Plus 20 dB gain, that just blow your ears. So I set minimum to be 0, of course, 0 is off, and I want all the way down to be 0. Or no, sorry, minus whatever the minus is. I think it's like minus 60 or something like that is off, and then all the way down is 0. So you don't want to go any louder than 0. Okay, so and SRR is jumping in. I've had some great communication with him on the on the channel. Nice comments. He says, quickly becoming a new fan. Thank you very, very much. It's been nice corresponding with you through the comments. And I do try to reply to my comments as often as I can. And I usually try to take an hour in the morning every morning and get back to these. And I've had a great conversation about Helix with SRR. So thank you very, very much. I'm not familiar with your first name, but we'll go with that. Carlos says, I use EQ block and a compressor at the end. I learned that from Jason. Yes, and I'm using an EQ block as well, too. The exact same thing. I'm using the high and low cut, just exactly what Carlo just said. And I'm doing that just to take out a bit of the woof of the low end frequencies. And of course, the compressor, it does exactly what it sounds like it does. And I don't usually change too much on the compressor on the output stage. I let it pretty much be factory default. Fruitcake Tony is here. Lost Smoke was here. Let me see here if I missed anybody else. I don't think so. All right, so let's grab my PV Wolfgang today. Let's grab that. And I want to make sure I don't spoil the actual sound because I could have given it all away in one shot. I want it to be the most normal sounding first, and then we're going to roll in some of the big sounds. And I know I'm in tune because we did some tuning beforehand. All right, so now I need to do some unmuting on my mixer here. And for those of you that saw my review of going back and forth between the Rodecaster Pro mixer and the Presonus, so there's been a battle back and forth. I've elected to go back to my Presonus mixer just because it has way more inputs for me, and it's much more musician friendly than the Rodecaster. I love the Rodecaster. It's more for podcasters, not for people that want to do what I want to do. But if you want to get into podcasting, you don't need a lot of inputs. It is the mixer to get. All right, so we want to okay, I guess Helix Floor is unmuted. Okay. All right, so I'm going to turn it back up to normal for a second. Okay, now I'm also going to, 6-string Brian's jumping in. I'm going to unmute the left and right wet effects. Okay, let's do that right now. And let's go back over here just for a second back to the screen. Let's go back to HX Edit. Not that it's going to show you much anyways, but okay, so let's make sure I'm on the right channels. Okay, I've got left unmuted and right unmuted. Okay, so right now you should still hear nothing. Okay, and actually this is probably the better. So nothing has changed there. I'm going to take my hand and just, as if it would be my foot, the Helix Floor is on my desk right now. So I'm going to just roll in a little bit of the volume pedal, which is, well, the expression pedal, which is just basically turning on that secondary path that you saw, all right, which is allowing the spillover to go to a different path. So what you're hearing there is coming 1/4 inch out of Helix directly to one channel on the mixer, dead center. This could be done to a recording front of house, or I mean recording console, front of house. If you have 3 FRFR speaker systems like I had, you could do it that way. Or if you had 3 guitar amplifiers, you could do it that way. What you'd want to do is you'd either want to run to the effects return on all your amps and be careful of the volume because it's going to be full blast at that point. Or you could go to the front of the input, make sure all your volumes are somewhere around the same volume, almost equal volume across all your amplifiers. And you want to try to keep your tone basically kind of neutral because you're going to control a lot of that from here. All right. So we're going to roll in some of the effects. I'm just going to bring in just a little bit. Here we go. So we have nothing. And you're hearing just a bit coming in now. Let's go a bit more extreme. And if you're noticing the left and right effects are coming through, but they're not stepping on the main. Picture the center channel is almost like your singer. You never want to step on your singer unless he or she really gets on your nerves. You want that to always cut through, just like a center channel on your hi-fi system at home, your surround sound system. You want that center channel to cut, and that's what we're trying to do here. You never want your delays to be tap dancing all over your main guitar riff that you're trying to cut through. So yeah, I could be doing something like that, and I don't want those delays, so if they're buried in the back. But they're there. Okay, let's bring in some more. Let's bring almost to about 80%, and I'm just guessing here with my hand. It sounded pretty cool, isn't it? Let's bring it all the way. We got 100%. Doesn't that sound nice? All right. So there we go. Let's go back and look at HX Edit. And we'll show how we did that. And we're going to recreate one from scratch and show you how easy it is. Matter of fact, we can do that right now. So it's very, very simple. Let's go create a new one right now, okay? All right, so I'm going to roll my guitar volume back because what's going to happen right now, if I was to try to play, it's sending multi-output right now. As you can see, multi-out at the top, multi-out at the bottom, and that will go to both, everything that's plugged into the back of Helix right now. I've got 1/4 inch out and I've got XLR out. We don't want to be sending signal out of the Helix at this point. Very good. Kenny Dave saying, that's fat. That sounds great from Marcel Blade. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is how easy this is going to be, all right? The first thing you want to do is you want to take one of your favorite amplifiers. And I'm just going to, for this case, I'm liking the sound of the Placator. I mean, my favorite amp right now is the Rev Gen, but we're going to go with amp. We're going to go to, and I'm going to try to do this as fast as I can, so I'm not hemming and hawing and having people have to fast forward. All right, so I probably passed it. We're looking for the Placator Dirty. Okay, so it's just an amp, okay? No, so right now it would sound like this. It's going to sound bad because there's no speaker. It sounds like a blown speaker, right? Because we haven't assigned a speaker. Instead of putting on a speaker for today's purposes, we're going to be using the fantastic impulse responses from Infinite Rig, something, and I got to say something as well, too. Let's jump back to the big screen for a quick second. I can't say what it is yet, and they are also going to be a big part of our 12 Days of Rockmas celebration, but we're going to be working on something special, very, very special together, and it's going to be really, really cool. So stay tuned for a big announcement between myself and the staff at Infinite Rigs. I can't wait to show you what that's going to be. It's something that I'm very proud of, but we'll share that when the time is right. Back to HX Edit. Okay, so let's pop on one of those. And I remember the number of the impulse response I like. It's from the Hard Rock package. So when you get one of these packages from Infinite Rigs, you just take note of where your impulse response is saved, and you'll make notes like I mentioned earlier about which ones you like. And we're going to go grab one right now. So we're going to click on impulse response, and we're going to go right here, and we're going to go look for the one that I want. And I remember it was like 74. It was one, there we go. It's the Infinite Rigs Hard Rock Rhythm. So technically right now we have this, and this is going to be coming to all 3 channels. Okay. All right. So we're getting there. We're getting there. All right. So I'm also going to put in my Kinky Boost that I always like to do, which is Exotic Effects EP Booster. All right. So we're going to go to Distortion. We're going to go to Kinky Boost. There it is. And I would put that in the loop. So technically I'm going to put it before my speaker or my impulse response. And I'm going to have a quick look where I've got it set at. I'm going to bring the drive down to nothing, but I'm going to put boost on. All right. So all we're doing is giving it a bit of a boost, and we'll show you what that sounds like with and without. Okay. Put it on. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So we're hearing some noise right now. Of course, we're plugging into a high gain amplifier. I could pop in a noise gate right here if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. I'm going to click on my input, and I'm going to say I want input gate on. That's not taking an effects block, and you're not using any extra DSP. Look at that, gone, quiet. All right, we're partway there already. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we want to do that split, okay? And keep in mind we're using 1/4 inch out for the center, for the dry amplifier. We're using XLR outs for the wet. All right, so what we need to do now is we need to somehow bring something down, and we need to use a block that is not DSP intensive. EQ is probably one of the very, very best ones to use. We're going to go EQ, simple EQ. We also want to make sure it's stereo. If you're doing wet, dry, wet, you're not running mono for the most part. Okay, and we simply do this. Because we're in HX Edit, we're just going to drag it down. If we are on the actual controls of Helix, we would go Action, click on it, and use a little joystick to bring it down. We're going to drag it down. Okay, and we're going to add a few more things here as well, too. So now it's here. It's down below. We have to break this path over here. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to bring that down as well, too. So technically, okay, first we'll make sure we're stereo. Okay, we are stereo. All right, now what I'm going to do here, I think I can do this from Command Center on here as well, too. Let me just double check. Okay, you can. But I'm going to do it on Helix. You won't see what I'm going to do here, but what you're going to do is you're going to hit what they call the hamburger menu. It's 3 lines it's right near the home button, and we're going to go. Just remember this and make a note of this as you're watching the video back. You're going to go back to controller assign. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to tell it I want the level to be assigned to expression pedal 1. Okay. And there is a minimum and a maximum value for how loud that's going to be. Right now, the default is minimum 60, and the max value is plus 12 dB. You don't want that because if you're to go rock your pedal up, it's going to blow your ears, your system. It's going to do all kinds of bad things. So you're going to want to bring your maximum volume to 0. Okay? That means at full blast, it's at 0 dB. I suppose you could always go over a tiny bit. but I don't want to be responsible for damaging any of your equipment. Okay, and then you just hit save. Okay. All right. And that's called new preset for now. I'm going to save it. Okay, so it's still saved. All right, so technically right now we have to go back and we have to tell where we want. First of all, we have to specify the first path of where it's going to go. We're going to say 1/4 inch out. Default is multi-output. We're going to go 1/4 inch. Okay, so now technically that's only running out to the 1/4. Okay, all right. Now we want to put our spill. We can either do that now or we can create what we want the spill to be. So let's maybe create what we want the spill to be right now. So I like reverbs and delays. Let's pop those on right now. Let's go reverb. Okay. And actually, we're going to want to assign an impulse response on here as well, too. So we could be, let's do that before we even do the reverb. Let's turn my guitar down. Let's right click or control click on the Macintosh. And I'm going to copy that impulse response. I'm going to paste it right up here. Paste it. Okay, so now I've got the exact same impulse response on the wet sound. Now I could change that impulse response. I could go to anything different if I wanted to give a bit of a different sound, but we're going to keep it the same for this example. Now let's put in those spicy effects. Some reverbs. We're going to go plate, legacy, and that'll be stereo anyways. All right, plate's going to be really long. I'm going to bring that back just by memory's sake. I'm going to bring it back to somewhere around 5. Okay, right there. And mixing. We're at 30%. I'm gonna guess about 25. I'm just going by memory here. And it's a guess, but you can also feel it too. You can kind of just picture it in your mind how wet you want that to sound. Now we're gonna pop in our delay, and I'm gonna actually reverse some of the order of these as well too. When I go stereo, I'm gonna choose simple delay, and I'm gonna choose my time somewhere around 475 milliseconds. And why am I doing this? Just because I like it. It's not right or wrong. Okay, it's 476. I don't care. I'm not going to worry about 1 millisecond. If you can hear the difference between 1 millisecond, 475 and 476, then you are awesome. Okay, now I want that delay to be before the reverb. I'm just going to simply move it over here. Next thing I want to do is I want to do the Eric Broadbent, talking in the third person, pitch detune. Okay, we're going to go stereo. We're going to go dual pitch. We're going to bring that up as well in front of the reverb. Okay, and did I move it? No, I didn't. There we go. So we got it there. Very, very simple. We're bringing our interval back to 0. That's on interval 1. We're bringing our second interval back to 0. Okay, we're there. Now we want to take our sense, throwing it out of tune just a little tiny bit. Okay, so we're going to go, for argument's sake, we're going to go a little higher than normal. We're not going to go minus 11. We're going to go minus 13. The bigger the number, and this, whatever number you choose, the higher that number is, the more out of tune it's going to be, whether negative or positive. We're going to choose minus 13. Usually my comfort zone is minus 11. I want to make it a little bit more extreme. Okay. And it's hard. There we go. Minus 13. And that's the left-hand channel. And for the right-hand channel, we're going to go plus 13. We want to make it exactly the same. Okay. Now, a lot of times what happens with using this effect, sometimes it gets lost in the mix. So we're going to bring up, this is something you don't normally do, but in this case, I'm going to be bringing up the level just to 1 dB. I want it to be 1 dB louder when this is engaged. All right. So there we go. All right. My mix, I'm going to bring it down to, normally I'd keep it around 30. I'm going to put it at 40 just to keep it extreme, a bit more extreme. Okay. All right. So now we're just about done. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I add. Oh yeah, we want to add our EQ block. All right. Simple EQ is we'll make sure it's stereo. And if something sounds funky to you, later on, it's not sound like a full stereo spectrum, chances are one of your blocks were mono. Okay. And I'm not even changing, actually, no, it's not a simple EQ. I stand corrected. Not a simple EQ. We've already used that. We're using low and high cut. Very sorry. And we are going to bring some of that low cut up in a moment. We're going to adjust that in a moment. And the last thing we want to do is put on a compressor, dynamics, and we're going to go LA Studio Comp, make sure that is stereo. And for the most part, I never even touch the settings on it. Now, we'll hear what this is going to sound like in a moment, and we'll find out how much of those low frequencies we want to take out. But now we have to say, where is this going to go out? We have to specify. So we're going to say, remember I told you earlier, the wet effects are going to be XLR. And those go to my mixer behind me, and they're panned left and right. Okay, so technically, if this works, we've recreated it on the spot. I should maybe save it just in case. Okay, hit that. And it's just called new preset. Okay, we're going to just bring the volume back on the expression pedal. Technically, if all works, we should be just hearing the chunk out of the middle. All right, I'm happy with that. Now let's roll the expression pedal up and see what happens. Oh, because I didn't specify. Look, see that? I didn't specify where it's going to go. We have to picture it like an ice cube tray. You're filling your water in your ice cube tray. It gets to the last one. It's got to go somewhere, right? So it's going to go all over the kitchen floor, and your better half is going to get mad at you. or you do it right, you tell it where to go, spill out into the sink. Well, in this case, we want to spill out to the next path. So we want to go to path 2A. All right. Okay. Fingers crossed, because this is live. I had lots of time to create the other preset with no one watching me and things of that nature, and it works. But when a live environment, you never know. So let's now roll that expression pedal and see if we're actually getting some life to it. Oh yeah, there she is. That's horrible. So you get it, right? So there you go. That's how that's boom, 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 boom. I think there's a couple things missing from the actual preset I just made, but we created this on the fly. I think maybe what we did, I'm finding that I don't even need to take any low out. I actually have hardly any lows in this one here. I probably played with the tone on the placator a little bit more on the other preset. So now that you've seen how to do it, let's go back and just have a look at the actual one I created before we went live. But it totally works. It's really, really simple. Just choosing your path, choosing how you want to go out. As you notice, I've gone 1/4 inch out for the center channel or the unaffected guitar, and XLR out for the others. We could be send 1 and 2 if we want, 1/4 inch out. We could be going line 6 link digital out, all kinds of different ways. Okay, I'm keeping an eye on the time. We're 4:36. I do want to wrap this up at 6 o'clock. At 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And let's go back to the original here. And thank you for the comments so far. This is great. We're going to hear this in a second now. Excuse me, that's not a fart. That was this. I can't recreate it, but it wasn't me. It was the chair. Okay. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to mute my microphone. I'm going to unmute my laptop. It will create a little bit of hiss just because the laptop has some high gain coming out. Well, it's not that bad. It's like it's certain people that are sensitive to certain frequencies will hear a little bit of a whine. And I'm really cramped for space today because I'm using the floor on my desk. I am like majorly cramped, but this is great. Okay, we're going to load up one of my songs here, and this one uses, what's perfect about this song, it's a drop D song, and you don't want to be hearing all kinds of delays fighting the guitar that's trying to speak down the center. And because I'm doing this riff. So they're there when you're not there. And I'm not using ducking. It almost gives you the feeling of using a ducked delay. Joe Satriani is a prime example of using ducked delay for years. You know, basically the delay's not there when you're playing, but the minute you sustain a note and stop, you hear that delay. This is not that, but it's just the way we're routing, and we're keeping a decent mix of the effects, the ear candy on left and right, and will not fight you. So let's try a song that would normally be fighting delays and reverbs, would be fighting that main guitar, and see how it sounds. All right, so here we go. Let's mute the microphone, and Jason's saying sounds good through the headphones. Fantastic. We're doing good on time. Thank you, everybody. So you hear that? It's not stepping on the toes. Think of that one guitar as the lead singer, and the wet on the other sides are just kind of like some background harmony vocals, whatever. I'm not using a harmony on guitar, but hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say. That song there is like a locomotive chugga 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 riff, right? And you don't want echoes to be interfering with that. If you were to hear that in a live environment at a really good system, like in a big concert hall, you'd be hearing something. You'd be saying to yourself, I hear something I like. I don't know what it is. I'm just hearing something. It's not enough to make it stand out and be like, okay, that's obvious. It's just that little tiny thing. If you turn that off, and all of a sudden it's a world of difference, right? So example, let me try that, playing that riff again. Okay, let me roll the expression pedal all the way back, and we're just going to hear the dry. It still sounds nice and chunky and beefy, but where'd it go, right? Let's bring it back in a little bit again. Let's bring it actually in all the way. Try to get that squeal again. I love it. I really, really do. So hopefully you're enjoying that. Jason White says, killing it. Thank you very, very much. 4:42, we're doing pretty good. We might even wrap up a tiny bit early. I'm going to play one or two more songs, which will probably carry us to the really fun part after that. And we're going to do the draw. 4 winners are going to walk away with a impulse response choice of their liking from infiniterigs.com. And you're going to love it for sure. I never thought I'd be back to impulse responses, and I'm still going to use some stock cabs. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be a liar and say I'm never going to use stock cabs again. I will. I tend to always go for the 412. And just to give you an example, let's jump back over to HX Edit for a second. I'm just going to pop on stock cabs for a second. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go cab. I'm going to go 412, 20 watt. Okay, greenback 20s. I'm going to do the same thing on the second path, cab. And they sound good, but I find now your ears don't lie. Your eyes can and will lie. You look at something and you think, okay, this is going to be better because I see this. It's a brand. They say Pepsi's better than this or Coke's better than this. You've been told that, right? Your ears don't lie. All right, so I just lost. Where's the 412, 20 again? All right, so there we go. So that's that same preset. It's cool. Nothing wrong with it. But I'd much rather have that impulse response. I'm just going to double click the preset and I'm back to it. The harmonics just jump out. And it's giving me that comfort zone vibe. I'm getting my squeals, which I can't get unless I'm happy. So there we go. Let's play another song for you, and maybe we'll stay down in D. All right, another song that has kind of a pedal tone to it, a song called Silence that does this. Now you're going to hear a little bit more delay here because there's some silences in the, no pun intended, in the song. Okay, so you're going to hear a little bit of delay echoing there. Okay, just messaging back my producer. We'll do on that for sure. Man, she's the best. Okay, jump back a couple albums back. Here we go. And we're doing good on time. I think we can probably get two more songs in here. It should be good. All right, here we go. Here's Silence. Let's have some fun with this one. And once again, a huge thanks to Colin and InfiniteRigs.com for making this all possible.
I've had all I can handle. Way up, I am the mantle. Have we seen enough to never seem to feel what's come to be?
Comment from Thrash. It said it's fun when you nail a nice bendy harmonic and get that, whoa, I didn't even plan that feeling. Exactly. And even those tapped harmonics, that's just so fun when they pop out. They don't always pop out. Nice. So Scott Roos is saying, wouldn't the where was it? The first cab IR, wouldn't that go through to both dry and wet and then another on the wet? Yes, technically, yes. So technically I'm using two cabs. I could probably turn that one off, right? Disable that one. Yeah, it still carries through. So I'm actually technically using a redundant extra IR, so I don't need that. So good point on that one, Scott, for sure. All right, so we are at 4:50 Eastern Standard Time. We had a request for Matt Krill said, surely we could do that. I just have to jump over to another preset because I don't have clean on this one. So let me go over here real quick. I think it's Eric Triple V2. Go back over here just for a second so we can see that. I think that's what I want. Actually, hang on. No, it was not in testing stage. It'll be under user 2. Here we go. And Eric Triple. Here we go. Okay, now that one's loud, so we're going to bring that down a lot now. All right, so we're going to bring down the, let me see. All right, we're going to mute those two wet, dry, wets. All right, and what we're going to do now, especially too, let's change that cab. Let's change that to an impulse response. Let's put on our favorite so far. 74, wasn't it? Okay, now I'm going to have to also do switching by hand here because Helix is on the desktop. Oh, hang on. Sounds like the IR is off. It is. Okay, there we go. I don't want to save this because I like this one preset the way it is. Make sure we have a IR on the lead. Okay, we do. All right, so here's Shirley, just for Matt Krill, and then we're going to wrap up with the giveaway. Okay, good luck. Here we go. Thank you for the request. I appreciate that. And this was a song from my mom, so a lot of you are spending Thanksgiving with your mom, so enjoy this very special day if you're here in Canada. Here we go.
Okay, are you ready yet?
We're going to have one last song, and we're going to do the giveaway. We're going to jump back over to that other preset that we were just on a few minutes ago. We're going to go back to the testing stage. We're going to use the wet, dry, wet. Okay. And hang on. It was new preset test. Okay. And let me see. Guitar Man 45. How do you set up Helix to use your own amp or distortion and gain using the 4-cable method and all the other effects sounding a certain switch? Basically, I'll do that in another video for you, and I'll dedicate it just to you. But basically, you want to send the effects to the front of the amplifier, like your distortions, your anything like that type of thing. You're not going to want to use amp modeling, and then through the other routing capabilities, you run your reverbs, delays, and all your time-based effects to the loop of your amplifier. I'll explain that for you in another video for sure. It's kind of hard to break it down in this one here as well too. And I'm just going to mention back in 1 second here. All right, so thank you for the request of that one as well too, Matt, for surely that's really cool. All right, so we're going to unmute those two other channels as well too. I think we do have them unmuted. And I seem to have lost, hang on, we're going to go back to Infinite Rigs right here, wet, dry, wet. That's what I want. Oh, I do have them muted. That's why I couldn't hear it. This one here and this one here. All right, here we go. Last song of the day. And we are down 1 second. Where are we? Here we are. Whoops. Bear with me. I got trigger happy here. All right, here we go. Last song of the day. Go back to the big screen, and it's time for a giveaway. The fun stuff. By the way, too, if this was helpful to you at all, if you enjoyed this, there's a nice little PayPal link right there, dead center, paypal.me/EVHTV. I really wish I could change that name, but I can't. It's a tip jar. Throw it in whatever you like. I appreciate it. It helps greatly, and goes into more stuff to make this all happen, and helps the family and all that good stuff as well, too. Definitely not dry begging, but if you want to throw a tip, we'll take it. Awesome, and thank you so very, very much.
Like
Okay, just one moment here. All right. We're going to, so a super chat from Matt Krill. Thank you so very much. And from R2R3 Locking. I appreciate that immensely. And we do have to wrap up here right away. So we're going to jump over to the Infinite Rigs, and we're going to start picking 4 winners right now. Okay, 1 second. Here we go. All right, so I have this. It's actually called commentpicker.com/YouTube. Okay, and we're going to do this right now. We're going to pick 4 winners. Nocturnal Butterfly is going to mark down who these names are. Now, when you win these things here, whoever I pick, reach out to us. Probably, I guess the best thing to do is info@thehelixhour.com. Info@thehelixhour.com. Send me your email addresses and things of that nature. I will in turn send it off to Colin, and we'll get you your choice of, he'll be in touch and get your choices of impulse responses. Okay, so here we go. We're going to pick our first winner right now. Coffee Waldo. Coffee Waldo is our first winner. Winner of 1 of 4. Congratulations, Coffee Waldo. All right, here we go. We're going to pick again. Winner number 2 on deck. If Coffee Waldo, they can't win twice, so I think it filters out. Okay, so that doesn't count. He doesn't win a second time. Okay, so we only have 1 winner so far. Jason Wade. Winner Jason Wade. And it actually shows a comment as well, too. Congratulations, Jason Wade. All right, here we go. Winner number 3 of 4. Jim Dales. Fantastic. All right, we got 1 more to go. That's winner 3 of 4. Here we go. Our 4th and final winner. Okay, so Jim Dales can't win a second time. I wish it would pick the person out that won already, so that we still need to pick a 4th winner. Here we go. Michael Petrick. Awesome. Nice to finally hear the differences in IRs. So let's jump back to so Michael Petrick. There you go, guys and girls. 4 winners. Congratulations to all those winners. Thank you huge to Colin over at Infinite Rigs, infiniterigs.com. Check them out. And there's a lot to choose from there. No matter what genre of guitar that you like, sound, amplifiers, and speakers, it's all there for you. It's been a pleasure to do this, and we do have another engagement we do have to jump to, so I want to thank you all so very, very much for tuning in. Again, that PayPal link is right there if you want to show some extra support. It goes a very long way, trust me. But I do enjoy you just tuning in today and having fun with this. This has been absolutely fantastic. Send an email to info@thehelixhour, HOUR.com, and we'll funnel off your email addresses to Colin, and we'll get you set up with an impulse response package of your choice from many off of infiniterigs.com. Thank you so very, very much. Happy Thanksgiving once again to our Canadian friends. Check out Butterfly and Ladybug later tonight. I believe we're at 6 o'clock. Click on their name here in the chat. You can catch them live. Lots of fun. And I believe they're going to be live tomorrow again at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m. So we'll look forward to that. And until next time, next Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, longtime multi-platinum, Juno Award-winning producer, John Cunaberti, Joe Satriani, and countless other bands. Chickenfoot, Sammy Hagar, all the way back, drummer as Rockets. He's on the show. You don't want to miss that one. That's over on Rock Shop Live. See you next time right here on Music Gear Network. Cheers.
Hey, you're still here? Eric Jr. here, reminding you to check out our full lineup of quality merch. Available right now in the Broadstash Boutique. Quality products and fast shipping. Visit broadstash.com today.
Thank you for watching the Helix Hour. We hope you enjoyed today's presentation. An extra special thank you to the staff at Line 6 for their continued support. If you've not yet subscribed, please do so right now and feel free to share our content with your friends. See you next time on the Helix Hour.